Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 3D Hangout. Today is the 11th of September. I'm Matt Griffin, the host, coming to you live from the heart of the Adafruit factory in New York City. And with me, as always, is Noe and Pedro Ruiz down in Adafruit South. Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Hey, Matt. Hey, Matt. Hey, everybody at home. How you doing? I'm Noe Ruiz, designer here at Adafruit, and joining me is Pedro.
Hi guys, I'm Pedro Ruiz, creative tech here at Adafruit, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from all over the world. Matt.
And people are all over the place. We've been really excited about that. So every week we hang out live with you all here to share the latest in 3D printing news, projects from the Adafruit workbench, designs from the community, and all sorts of things to help you create better 3D printed projects with electronics. Right. So what's on this show today?
Sure, we got a couple segments for you. What are you prototyping?
In this segment, we find out behind the scenes what we're working on for our future projects.
We got 3D news.
That's right. Every week we scour the net and find interesting stories to bring to you.
A weekly video
featuring Adafruit electronics. Every week we bring to you an awesome 3D printed project.
Layer by layer.
Layer by layer. Every week we show you how to model said 3D printed project.
Community Spotlight.
And the Community Spotlight this week, I'm really excited to share about designer and Replica prop fanatic Todd Blatt, and share a little bit about the RPF and the whole world of people making incredible designs that are more and more involving electronics as well as 3D printing.
Definitely the best.
Yeah. So we'll start with the what we're prototyping, and I have just a quick update that I've been getting ready for Maker Faire next weekend. I'm giving 2 talks there at the Maker Faire in New York, if anybody's going to be there. One on Saturday, one on Sunday. One on Saturday about the different types of design modes for creating objects in 3D. This would be not just like types of software, but the ways that you use software. Any given package might have several different modes. And the other talk on Sunday is a little field guide I'm sharing about 3D printing in food and 3D printing and medicine. So definitely check it out. So I'm focused on that, and I've been loving the busy desk full of toys, all the projects you guys have been printing the last couple weeks. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're gearing up just in time for the Halloween season. So here we're making some very massive prints now that we have the TAS4 calibrated.
So we're gearing up for doing some Halloween decor in an upcoming episode. Here you see us prying a ginormous Boo from Super Mario Brothers. This little retro touch to any garden, or you can even turn it into a candy bowl.
Yeah, and that plate that's flexible is a really nice tool that we're going to have in the shop soon, so be watchful for that. Hey, did you put that on your head?
It would have been unthinkably big last year. I love that now you guys have several.
Yeah, as you can see here, we were playing a little bit of Russian dolls with all the different sizes here. And you can see a little middle one in there printed on the Rep 2, and just the giant difference that you can print right next to it.
And then next week we have some collaborative projects. We're going to show you how you can turn something like this into that. Whoa!
That's right, putting glowy LED things in your costume.
Very cool. So let's go ahead and look at the
So, shall we jump into some 3D news and come back to...
Oh, hold on. Sorry, new graphics we're playing with here.
Which I am really enjoying.
All right, let's see what's on our desk.
Sure. Nice.
So, again, here's another little cool 3D printed project we're collaborating with on a future episode. And just a quick little, showing here how we did this little Boo here. So this is just subdivisions inside of Maya. So you can see the nice smoothness on all that. I really love how you can just pull polygons. Can't really do this in 123D, but other packages like Maya and the sort, you can just sort of grab polygons out. I'm very happy with the way that the shelling on this. You can see down to the tail there. It's also completely shelled out. Very optimized, and you can I added a little hole there so you could turn this into a little planter. And we're not dual printing this. It's just switch back. It's just acrylic paint on here on the little tongue and the mouth there. But yeah, we'll be looking at more cool things like this in upcoming episodes.
Love it.
Yeah, Pedro.
Okay, so jumping into 3D news.
All right, news.
Okay, So first, Francis Bertanti, a designer you might know from the Vita Dantis 3D printed dress. They got a lot of attention a couple years back now. He's very talented, and he likes to sort of push things really hard as far as like the production time to produce this dress was crazy. Well, he has been playing around a lot with other types of wearables and trying to get the way to produce these down to more affordable and a little bit faster, so people could actually like enjoy these. So there's a talk he gives at 3D Print Show London. Talks a little bit about his background. So you have to check it out on the blog and see his new shoe project. And speaking of things that you can wear, this was really cute. The Fathom team put this together. It's a project, a little mobile app that will take a bunch of tweets from your friends when you break your arm and turn it into a cast for you. It's a cute video, and the project is really well executed. There's some images of it there.
Yeah, this is great.
This is a great concept. I love typography.
Yeah, definitely. We have a couple of 3D printed RC vehicles, starting with this one. This is the Truggy, which, if you've seen it online, there's a huge open source RC community around this project that this designer's been working on for I think 2 years now, and there are lots of fun videos, including some ones that we shared there, of pushing this project further and further, making it just a crazy fast little RC car, and also trashing it. Like there are all these crash videos. Then they print and keep going, and it's a lively community.
This is really
and this is something that Pedro shared earlier this week that I really love. The UVA program, which is doing lots of really exciting stuff with 3D printing, shared this really interesting video documenting this project to make a completely 3D printed UAV that uses as many sort of off-the-shelf parts as possible. And this video details the various stages they tried as they launched it, first from a car and then from other things, and they now have it down so you can launch it from your hand, which is quite a feat. And one of my favorite things about it is the professor David Scheffler, who created this project. He mentioned that one of the real exciting things about doing a project like this is to show the value of open source and the flexibility of using some of these off-the-shelf parts that they were using, reconfiguring them, being able to adapt really fast, and accomplish a pretty impressive feat. Speaking of
our DNA, we give away all of our files. You don't have to use your components. It's recommended, but you can totally mod it and use any off-the-shelf component you want.
And right here, we have another ambitious project. This using a lot more expensive and wild 3D printing tools. A challenge to live print an entire car at the IMTS show in Chicago. So this is happening right now. This is still going on. You can see I shared a couple of the tweets in the blog post that's up about this. They've been going through. They've printed it. They're doing their subtractive round of they're going around and like building the surface. It's a pretty wild project and a good chance to see a really industrial approach to how to use additive manufacture to produce a car, because this is a car with only 40 parts.
Wow.
Interesting challenge.
A lot less than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Well, future is here. We have smart watches on our wrist. We have 3D printed cars.
Very cool.
Speaking of 3D printing things, and I'm really excited about this.
Oh,
so you had an opportunity to make an enclosure for a project, and you took it really far.
Yeah, this week seems to be sort of the cosplay replica type theme on the blog. Perfect with this project. So this week we made a very cool sci-fi sort of replica. It's using a distance ray sensor to tell you the distance on LED display. The design is inspired by a movie we'll talk about in a little bit, and it basically takes the distance using the ultra rangefinder and telling you it in the centimeters on the LCD display. All the components you can get on the shop at adafruit.com, and the sort of design is optimized to secure all those components, and it takes about 6 hours to print all the pieces. And all the pieces are optimized to print with no support materials. And we have a lot of extra details that really make it look just like the original design, which we'll show in a little bit. You can use spray paint and sand it down and add some sort of abrasion textures to make it really look like the real thing. And you'll want to check out the guide on our Adafruit learning system for find out how to assemble it and all the printing settings and things. It's fairly a simple build. It takes about an hour to assemble everything, and everything nicely fits with machine screws. We have
Noe Pedro's sent the final version of the one that they're sharing about the process of sanding over to Adafruit factory here, and we've been going crazy looking at the finish of this thing.
Yeah, it's really nice. And the big shout out to Mike Barella for creating the original sketch, and another shout out to Becky Stern for modifying it to work with our alpha quad displays. It's a really nice way to sort of represent and display distance. So if you're interested in distance rangefinders, definitely check out the guide. We have quite a bit there. And then why not? Let's just talk about.
Let's find out how we made this.
Yeah. So this is from 1984's Dune, David Lynch's movie. There's so many props and costumes that were made for the production, but never made it to the film. This is one of them. So when I was researching Dune and their props, I found this gun, and it really stood out to me because I figured this is like the perfect shape for the ultrasonic rangefinder project. So mainly because of that barrel, that's like a nice large barrel that's perfect for the distance sensor, and then you have this sort of the little boxy design. That's probably where the ammo is supposed to go. In our case, I think a battery and the trinket would fit there nicely. And then shout out to 123D, our favorite tool of the trade. We updated some components. So before we start on a project, we always make sure that all our components are modeled. And in this case, we had to make a new one for the ultrasonic rangefinder. So it's that little cylinder-looking thing. And we encourage you to check them out because we do spend a lot of time remaking these things and making sure that they print properly for you. And you can see that it's not exactly symmetrical. And we basically find that out because we prototype the hell out of these things. And another component is the alpha quad display. So we have the standoffs and the mounting holes for you, and this sort of little screen cutout, so you can make surface-mounted projects using that component. And really, the challenging thing about this project is that the dimensions of the real thing aren't really available on the internet, and there's only 2 photos of it on the internet I can find, so it's pretty rare design. In this case, we figured out the base measurements by just sort of modeling around the component. So that large thing in the center is the battery, and the trinket microcontroller is at the bottom. The distance sensor, we sort of modeled around it, and we have this sort of barrel, and the ultra rangefinder will just sort of mount in there and be held in place. Designing the handle is, if you looked at the original picture, it's kind of an organic-looking thing. And to create it, you sort of have to use a combination of solids, tweaking solids, and tweaking sketches. So here you can see the blue things are going to be what I cut out, and then I use like a cylindrical sketch to cut out and make that curve. And really what brings the design together is when you start applying those fillets. And when you apply those fillets, you get this really nice curvature. And that's sort of what it looks like. It's got that nice curve. The barrel was interesting because I didn't have to sort of make a mounting hole, or I didn't have to glue it in there. I just used the sort of tolerances to help me out there. So that was it's a nice way to to mount things. It was nice to stick it in. Since the handle was a little bit thinner than the battery box, I had to create a way to connect them both. So in the end, I ended up making like these series of cylinders that act as the standoffs, and these little other smaller cylinders that act as the mounting holes, so you can screw everything together. And like most enclosures, I like using the polyline tool to create a sketch on my shape, so that I can cut them in half and separate them. And when you do that, you can apply shellings to them. In this case, I'm using 1.5 millimeters, which seems to be a nice sort of medium, optimized, yet still thick enough to be durable. And here's sort of what it looks like as an exploded view. There's a lot of little details and things that went into it to make the final project. And here's what it looks like, how they're supposed to be oriented to print. So I lost count how many parts there. Somebody can count them for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that 10?
Sounds right.
Pretty close. there's like little dots and things that didn't make it in there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and then quickly, I'm just going to share a quick tip on
moving and reorienting.
Yeah, on removing and orienting things in 123D. So if you're moving like sort of groups of objects around, you'll notice that when you move it around, the little handle manipulator transform thingy sort of is always global. So when you click on it again, you see it's not relative to the object. So if I wanted to make it flush with that other part, I'd have to keep pushing it down and left and right. But there's a cool way. If you click that little button there that says Start Reorient, you're in sort of a mode where you can hover over an object and select that object, and then you can sort of transform and manipulate the object relative to whatever object you clicked on. That's really cool. And another thing is you have to, when you find the spot that you want, you need to make sure to hit to deactivate the mode, and that way you can move your stuff around with one step instead of, let's say, 3 or 4. So that's a cool little tip. We encourage you to check out this model and all your widgets so that you can incorporate them into your projects and
speed up your production workflow.
Productions. That's what it's about.
So
pretty much it.
So you found this as a model that didn't make it to the film. What got you the most excited about this? It's such an odd shape, but it ended up being so perfect for your needs there.
Yeah, it is a very odd shape, and I like sort of how unique it is in the way that you have to hold it in a certain way. Your pinky kind of goes where that little curve is there, and it's fun as a challenge and figuring out how to make it all fit together with the most minimal you have.
Mm.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Nice.
For improvement on the software side, I'm sure somebody could make it so that it displays meters or inches, and maybe you can make the trigger actually change modes. That would be really cool. We didn't have enough time to get to that, but man, we have a really nice foundation.
Yeah, so the trigger is not actually soldered or screwed in anywhere, so you can make it act like they originally wanted to in the film, where you just pull it back like that.
Absolutely,
so there's tons of cool little improvements like that you can do. Check out the model on our 123D gallery, where you can find all of the widgets and components that went into this, so you can speed up your workflow on creating your own model.
Yes, please.
I think that all electronics, especially sensors, should definitely have be housed in a cool prop. And speaking of the props that we've been talking about, I wanted to jump into a little overview of the Replica prop forum folks, including our spotlight today on Todd Blatt.
Right.
So we have a couple of posts up focusing on Todd and his work, and this one is fun because it's showing a project he's actively working on right now. He has a time-lapse video up. He's been setting things up so he can always grab time lapses and quickly grab documentation as he works, which is very handy for sharing and updating people. So one of the things that I asked him about when I was wanting to sort of feature him today were what are some of the things that he's really excited about? Why does he spend all the thousands of hours in the Replica prop forums, which is a place where people share I have a little photo of that's the homepage of the forums. People share the movie props and game props, etc., that they're excited about, and they try to recreate them. And one of the things that Todd said that I thought was really great is he talked about how it's really a chance to learn, and that by sharing things, somebody else might learn something, and he watches and learns from all kinds of techniques, not just 3D printing or just digital design, but vacuum forming, all sorts of surface treatments. Take a look at his post and watch his build video. So he's making right now a mutant detector from the most recent X-Men movie, and sort of in the spirit of the project you guys shared today. Let's see if I have a direct link to the. Here it is on the RPF. He's going to incorporate some Adafruit electronics in there, and he's thinking of cheating and having it set up so if he knows where north is and where south is, it will detect north, but he can have a whole animation sequence where it will behave like the one in the show. And so here are some on the blog post today are some of his progress taking images and all sorts of references that he could find and taking time to laboriously model what will be an exact replica. He has a he has a really great talk up where he shares about tons of projects. I think he tried to do 40 projects in 30 minutes, and just to tease you, I'm going to share a couple of his slides. His slides are up at the bottom of that post. He shares a lot about the process he went through to try to solve a lot of the projects he's done that have received a lot of attention online. So go and check out some of his process. See some of these unique elements that you have the challenge of making the thing that exists, but you never necessarily have the most efficient way to start. Sort of the opposite of when you're designing something new and you might sort of plan it out. So this one screenshot from a TV series becomes a place to start to do 2D and 3D modeling, and this is an RFID chip in it.
Wow.
It's really fun. You got to take a look and enjoy some of his incredible projects, and learn from him about why you might want to spend a couple of thousand hours getting just the right dents on your Green Lantern ring, and making he made so many things that from the Han Solo in carbonite miniatures to taking that and doing an Elmo in carbonite. It's definitely a highlight for us, and we've shared a lot of his work over the last couple of years as it's come up on the Adafruit blog. So we shared a couple of other places to start, including, there we go. So there's a post here that I shared that talks a little bit generally about the RPF, the Replica Prop Forum, which, as I said, is the epicenter of all that crazy passion and obsession driving the Replica prop hobbyists. And at the bottom of this is some excerpts from an article over at Tested that I found really inspiring, and a great place to start if you want to learn more about the RPF and Replica prop fans in general. It's called How Obsessive Fans Built a Better Han Solo Blaster, and it talks a little bit about all the the hours spent poring over very limited resources and screenshots and that kind of thing, and getting closer and closer and closer to solving what will be as close to the on-camera version as possible. We also shared a couple of neat projects and designers from the movement. Here's Griffin, who also goes by, let's let's see, where's her site? Yeah. Girly Gamer. She's been so productive in making these projects, particularly games projects recently. They're very accomplished, and she's showing what you can do taking the spirit of the RPF and taking it into 3D printing. And you can model things, you can get inspired. You can also take what you learn and share it back in interesting ways. Here's a neat project from the Enable movement. A prosthetic that has Wolverine claws, makes it fun, and helps encourage the kids to use it and enjoy it. We shared a couple other posts to check out that show some of the clearinghouses, the repositories, where to see more about replicas online. So my mini factory was one that Noe and Pedro had pointed out to me. I've been seeing their work and shared about them a little bit before, but their props and costumes section is quite nice. All of this, their approach to sharing pieces is they actually curate them, and all the ones that are posted they've actually printed. Mm-hmm. So that's very interesting news for people who are looking for downloadables themselves, because a lot of these models are free to download to print, or you can have them run them for you. There's also thousands and thousands of props and wardrobe and costume pieces up on Thingiverse, including a lot of really fun stuff that you will recognize from Noe and Pedro's projects for Adafruit. So check out the stuff on the blog and go and take a look and get inspired. Maybe you want to make take the challenge on of making a perfect replica of something for Halloween. It's a good time for it, and it will help other people understand why you're going to spend time getting exactly those details.
Mm-hmm. Now, all these great projects are really a good way to get into just perfecting, something you see on screen. It's a great challenge, motivator, all those things. And if you guys make any, be sure to join the show and tell every Wednesday and show us what you got.
Yeah, totally.
Excellent. Well, yeah, so that's the show for today. And the 3D Hangouts are over, but 3D Thursday continues. So definitely continue to check out the blog for more coverage all day long of interesting things.
Yeah, definitely check out these lovely links up here. If you want to find out more about distance sensors, be sure to check out our guides on the Adafruit Learning System. Pedro's talking about our show and tell. You can find all about that on our Google Plus page. Check out the blog every Thursday. And you can also follow myself, Pedro, and Matt on the Twitters, the Instagrams, and the Thingiverses.
That's right. Well, you'll see behind the scenes, future episodes, and some sneak peeks.
So we'll be seeing you next week. Until then, we'll keep on printing. And thanks for showing.
Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.